is hungry, absolutely. So we still haven't got anyone to actually prioritise the farming or anything. But, well, there you go. Such is life. They'll get around to it at some point. Maybe. Or they'll starve, you know, it's up to them really, isn't it? We'll leave them make that choice for themselves. It seems reasonable. They could do it, or they could starve. Completely up to them. As you like, duplicants. Did I just build all of that on a 6? No. Alright, well, whatever. Suppose I don't care that much which ones you do. Oh, man. We're already having a carbon dioxide problem, which is dull. We're not having a real one. It's just that they've just let some out and it hasn't filtered its way down here yet. That's not genuinely a carbon dioxide problem. Yeah, that's going to be aggravating, but it'll be fine. So yes, I definitely think we do want them to come in here, and we want to start sending people to the other planet as soon as possible. What is our second planet? Let me see the destination. What is it? It's the swamp planet, is it? Yes, it's the swamp planet. Well, that should be... What have you got on you? Nothing. It's got no water. Oh, I can't make its own oxygen. That's a bit of a pain in the backside, isn't it? Can't make your own oxygen over here. Oh, that's a bit zoomed in, thanks. It's got a rust biome. They say, like that's gonna help. Which I'm not really convinced it will. Excellent. Apparently we're already outside of our starting biome. Oh, I don't want to look at what the thing has. I don't like that it does that. What do we got? We would like to learn about decorations. Let's try and make a great hall. Well, I got a different ceiling light as well. I'll show you when I can build it. In my box of stuff from clay. What was I thinking about? Oh, I was thinking about water coolers. That's what I was thinking about. I knew there was something. Sure. Oh, they can't build up there. Let's get them to dig that out so that they can build up there. We also need a rancher quite desperately. So I'll have to see how that goes. I wonder what counts as outside the starting biome then. Because nothing we've built looks very outside the starting biome to me. I would say it is unclear. Why are you both in the bathroom together? Oh, it's because Frankie can't cope until their next sleep schedule. Well, that's fine. That'll sort itself out. Oh, did I drop out for everyone, or is it just me? I'm getting a welcome to the chat room message. Let's have a look. Twitch, what do you reckon? Oh, potentially. Potentially you do think I dropped out. Let's see if we got F's in chat. No. Ah, hello, Dukes. It's lovely to see you. Hope you are well. You can hear me. Good to hear. Surprisingly orange in my room, I see, now that I'm looking at a different view of the camera. Yeah, it looks like we might have had a brief outage of some form. Who knows what? It could just have been Streamlabs being a mess. I certainly wouldn't put it past it. Lovely. Right, we've learnt about plant pots. Very important. Let's learn about the supercomputer. Where is it? There it is. And we will put a plant pot in. Plant pot. Plant pot. Gonna use our other plant pot. It was great, thank you, Dukes. I hope that you have had a lovely time without me. Things are going well for you. Yes, it was a lovely trip, thank you. I will leave the Australia channel live for a little while if people want to go and see the pictures I posted, which is on the Discord. It's in the social. There's an Australian channel. You're getting homesick? Homestuck merch for my birthday. Oh no, you're getting Homestuck merch for your birthday, which is tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow. It sounds excellent. I hope you have a good one. Sulky Kale, did I die in real life or in Oni? In real life I did not die, I just went to Australia. In Oni we did not die, but because I was away. It's actually your birthday today, Leofar. Amazing. Happy birthday to you. The stream, I think the stream possibly died. But yeah, the last one. We got to... I can't remember what we reached on stream, but I got to 102 morale, like in the evening, as the maximum morale I could manage. And then after that I decided to leave it there because obviously I was going away and I wasn't going to be around to actually sort it out. So I decided that for that run we would call 102 the maximum morale we could have. And wait and see from there. You can't jump from there to there, Dupes. Sometimes the places you can go are really weird and don't make any sense to me, I have to say. But sure. You wish yours was February 29th? I mean, mine was in fact yesterday. So, and I am of the correct year of birth that, had it been 2 days later, I would have been born on February the 29th. But fortunately, or unfortunately, as you like, such things did not happen. So I do in fact get a birthday every year. I do assume the problem is that they will smash their head. It's a conversation starter, it certainly is. I had a great aunt, I believe, whose birthday actually was on the 29th. I don't think I ever knew her. But yes, apparently my mother was concerned that I would take after her and also not be born until the 29th. But no. I decided eventually to actually be born. I assume they just celebrate the day before or the day after, depending on what they feel like. I suppose it's a moderate assumption, but it seems a reasonably safe one, all things considered. Probably want you to dig that up, to be fair. Right then, we should probably stop giving them stuff to do so that they can actually plant some of this. Now let's inspect it. Sure. Inspect this one as well. And this. It'll be some time before we can actually use these things, but we might as well have them. I'm disappointed that you can't inspect the ceiling robot. I always think that you should be able to. But no. Apparently not. It's not acceptable to inspect the ceiling robot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Should allow them to jump down there. Have a fantastic time, Dukes. I hope that your gifts live up to your expectations, and they're excellent. Indeed. Why wait? What is the point? We should enjoy stuff. Why have only 2 of them used the dining room so far? Oh look, they're actually planting stuff. Amazing. Right then. First terrible dupe we get is being sent to the other planet to live. Oh look, there's another shine bug. We haven't managed to eradicate them, as it turns out. Maybe we should make a reactor. I mean, that's just gonna crash the whole thing. Taito Fape, thank you so much for your subscription. Welcome in, I hope you are having a fantastic day. 6 months gets you a brand new shine bug. I forget what it looks like, which one it is. 6 months, it's gonna be the 3rd one. Azure bug? Is it Azure bug? Oh, I forget. What am I attempting to look at here? Does anyone know? Oh, possibly research. Right, what did we learn about? We've learned about the supercomputer. What should we learn about next? What do we need to keep us alive? We probably want to start thinking about farming. Or ranching. We don't desperately need the fridge. Let's go. Well, we don't have anyone to actually do any ranching, though. Let's go power instead. It will free up. I was going to say it will free up duplicate time, but if we take a duplicate every time the pod goes off, then freeing up their time isn't a terribly important thing for us to worry about. Toilets? Maybe toilets. Gotta get the frozen dupe and make them ranch. I don't think I've had an especially terrible frozen dupe yet. I assume it will happen in due course. No problems at all, Taito Fape. Thank you very much. Enjoy your lurking. And thank you once again for the subscription. It's very kind of you. The support is very much appreciated. And thank you all for being here, considering I have been away, not being entertaining. Or at least not being entertaining to you. Other people may have been entertained. More Drecos. We definitely have fairly available Drecos. We should build a Dreco ranch pretty early. Hang on. Is there usually Sweetles on this map? Didn't expect there to be Sweetles. But there you go. I mean, you definitely can sit at these. I assume Turner will claim one now. Right then, you all seem to have things to do. We've still got to plant all of this so we can actually have some food. That would be ideal. There's also fish here, which have, you know, risen in my estimations to be largely the most useful food source in the game. With the well, there's a couple of things. With the small maps and with the nerfing of shovels, which I, as discussed, I'm not completely against because shovels were deeply overpowered. I definitely think the fish have risen to be pretty much the most useful of all the food sources because it's so easy for them to be largely self-sustaining because you always have seeds. It's not really a problem. Once you get them tame, they're pretty straightforward. I assume I have my fish farm here somewhere. That is not a fish farm. It's not a fish farm either. Fish! Here's my fish farm. We could build it somewhere. We could build it like here. Because then we could just chuck the fish in this pool to begin with. And then sort of slowly move them into that. Fish farm is the way. It does seem so. I wouldn't have previously said so, but there's definitely some truth in the idea that they're just better now than almost all the other options. Feeder. Oh, drop off point. That's what I'm thinking of. You heard some reports of crashing while Blueprints mod? Fair. I shall keep an eye on it. I'm probably not going to build the fish farm from the mod anyway. Because it always has the wrong materials. I think I copied one that was made in like cobalt and everything, which is not usually something that you have. How are the skills going? Meh is the answer. Skills are meh. They'll get there. Right, let's... No, we'll leave that for a minute, because otherwise you're not going to do it. Yes. Where can I helpfully make them put the dirt? I put it here in the short term, and then they can take it here and to the computer. So how do you feel about the new disconnect tool? Are you with Leofar that it's not as good as actual pliers? How come you're all doing supplying over farming? That can't be correct. Nobody should be doing supplying before farming. Oh, it might be counting as tidying, is it? No, it's not in tidying. The new tool is Save Bug's Face. It can only do 2x1 snips. It's a decent compromise of player expectations and the original player mods being overpowered. Fair. Yeah, I expected them to use the nerf that the players that I use uses, where you still need a duplicant to do it. I was surprised that that wasn't the route that they went down. So it's certainly what I would have imagined was one. But is the rest of the game save bug safe? I mean, not usually, I find. Also, I love the fact that the save bug has been in the game for literal ever, and they've never managed to fix it. Or in fact, they have managed to fix it a bunch of times, and then they've managed to break it again. Almost as quickly. The save bug is our hero, Brian. The save bug is a feature, like building not reachable, showing as the thing is being built. Yeah, no, that's a fair problem. Many things are features. Right, we're gonna learn about power anyway. I feel. I'm sure I'm gonna want to build some in due course. We've got quite a big starting area, to be fair. Can't see a single vent and or geyser yet, though. Which doesn't thrill me, I have to say. Somebody's got a skill point. Frankie, you can do advanced research. Excellent. Okayim, 23 months. Thank you so much. Thank you for the welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. It is lovely to see you. I hope you are having a fantastic day and that you and Moose have been well. Have a good one. Please name a dupe for you, of course, deep fried. Do you have a preference? There are no... Please name a dupe for KJ. Absolutely. Is there one you would particularly like? Or KJ, would you like to speak up? All of the dupes are free. We can have a quick rundown of who they are. Frankie is the researcher. Vera is an operator. Quinn is a digger. Turner is probably going to be an operator, despite having been given a hard digging hat to begin with. But yes, KJ, if you're still around, give us a shout and you can absolutely have whoever. Can anyone explain to me why they wish to do supplying above farming? Look at them. Make Moose a digger? Absolutely. You can be, I think it's, who is the digger? Quinn, is it you? I've forgotten already. Quinn, it is you. Quinn, come here. You're gonna be Moose. There you are, Quinn. Whoa. Hydre? The Domini? Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. I apologize that I have butchered your name. You disable supplying storing on everyone but the supplier's diggers. It's not a terrible move, to be honest, and I can understand why. All things considered. Supplier stores. That makes more sense, to be honest. Though I do sometimes like supply on the diggers, because it has building supply. I think maybe building supply is also built into diggers, is it? Let's have a look. Digging? No, just as dig. So sometimes I definitely like them to be able to do building supply so that they actually bring the stuff. But it just doesn't follow the priorities. There's something I'm missing here as to why. We might put it, in fact, down. Maybe. No, I don't think I love it. I don't think I love it. I think I'm just going to live with the fact that they really want to fill that up. The numbers take priority. But these are on 5 as well. I don't think that should do it. Oh, I know what it probably is. It's probably proximity, actually. That is probably what it is. It's probably because I turned proximity on. And they're like, well, I'm stood next to this, this bin, so I'll fill it up. That is probably what the issue is there. Now I think about it, I think I've come up with my own solution. After a little bit of considering. Ooh. Yes, I'm sort of weirdly, very slightly jet lagged, so every now and again I just have one of those sort of weird brain spinny moments. Moose has a skill point. Excellent news. I guess KJ isn't here. Deep Fried, would you like to pick for KJ? Or if KJ is here, they are not able to tell us what it is they would like. Lyra, you're going to get carrying to begin with. Very early teleporter, actually, absolutely. I put farming on something like 7, and then disable farmers and everyone but the farmers. Streamer's choice, absolutely. Skills. We'll make KJ the researcher. Because, well, mostly because they're here. They're first on the list. And they'll have to be KJ until KJ comes back and I can remember what their numbers are. Yes, we do have a very early teleporter, Arizia. As soon as I get a terrible Jeep, they're going through. The second planet doesn't have any water. Well, it doesn't have any water sources. It obviously has some water, it's the swamp. But doesn't have any water sources, which is slightly disappointing. How are we doing with this as an errand? Someone should get round to it in a minute. But we will see. What are we doing? We're learning about power. Excellent. Got a bunch of water here that I don't know what I'm going to do with. I'm probably actually just going to pump it up and put it in here in the end. Ooh. Look at this. Vent. Vent, I say to you. There we go. At some point we'll get in there. When that point will be, we'll have to wait and see. But that way at least I'll remember it exists. No, we're not doing this. Oh no, Turner is doing this apparently. If they hadn't stopped to have a chat. Duplicants. can't remain focused for a minute. Hmm? Can you? Troublesome lot. I would like to put a fridge here. Oh, I don't know what fridges are. I can't put a fridge there because I don't know what they are. It's a shame. Imagine not knowing what a fridge is. I'm always very concerned when I come back off holiday that something in my fridge is just going to have gone completely rancid while I was away. Fortunately, that did not happen. But yeah, it is something that I'm always moderately concerned about. That I will have forgotten to remove something that is deeply important to the ecosystem of my fridge. Yeah, that'll probably do. We don't really want to come busting all the way into there. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's actually in the right spot as well. Amazing. Who would have thought? But we'll get them to go up there. What do you need? Oh, you need field research. Well, we'll get there in the end. Is it time for a new dupe soon? Yes. Yes, it is time for a new dupe soon. So, we've got this one here. Have we seen any other vents? We've got some cold up here, which is sort of nice. Including some sleet wheat. These Terra-ish maps on the spaced out size starts have slightly different biomes than I necessarily expected. But that was because I don't usually play them that much. Has anybody been playing anything new and exciting that they would like to share with us? I obviously haven't, because I haven't been playing anything. Because I haven't been here. A rancher? You'll do. You don't have allergies, but I think you'll just have to live. Rocketry's not very useful. Maybe we'll send you into space later. We could almost certainly do with a rancher. So Catalina. I mean, I do like a builder-decorator. Builder-operator, rather, but we do have 2 operators, and they're allowed sleeper. I think allergies is slightly more dealable with. I mean, they're both pretty dealable with. Come in here, Catalina. Your turn. Let me have a look at your skills, Catalina. You are gonna be becoming a rancher. Which does mean at least I now have someone who can prioritize the farming. Excellent. There you go. You don't prioritize that. Let's give you a schedule. There you go. All done. We'll leave them finish that. Then they can start coming down here as well. Now we have a farm where I can be a little bit more, what's the word? Liberal with the build commands I set up. Because I've actually got someone that we can be sure is doing the actual farming. Not that that will necessarily prevent us from starving, but, you know, we can try. Do I have build over plants? No. Why would I have build over plants ever? It's a good start. I mean, it's an alright start. If I'm gonna take a dupe every time the thing goes off, the start that we really need is to find water so that we've got oxygen. But it's not too bad. The teleporters being so near is really good. It will give us quite a bit of leeway, because we can just chuck people over to the other planet to help keep us alive. So I'm definitely not disappointed in the start. To wait and see quite how good it's going to be, depending on what our vents are. That's your problem. You're just essentially, in these small maps, you're essentially just completely limited by how much water you can dig up. Oh, you meant the not starving part? I mean, not starving is a bonus. You know. But mostly only a bonus. What do we got up here? The vacillator. I think that's a vacillator we've got in there. I think that's the vacillator set piece. Right, so we got 5 dupes, and I have 18 plants. And that only feeds 3.5 dupes. Slightly more than 3.5 dupes, but only really 3.5 dupes. So it's not super helpful. What are we learning about? Smart batteries, that's fine. We'll go to ranching after that. And we can start building up the infrastructure. And then we can capture our stray hatches, of which there are several. There's one there, there's one there, there's one in the bathroom. Got any others? Not that I can immediately see, but 3 isn't a terrible early game start. Should also assist with the not actually starving. Did we learn about fridges? We did not. I have learned about farm tiles, but there's not really any point. As long as you've got the space for planter pots, I think it's entirely reasonable to have planter pots. I never used to use them, and I think I was sort of looking at them on one occasion when I was playing, and I was like, I don't really understand why I don't use them. They seem fine. They don't seem to really get in the way of anything. Given that this is my regular setup for a ranch, like, I'm sure if you build your ranches in a slightly different way, you're going to find that they get in the way of stuff. But as this is the way that I build mine, it's not really an issue. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. Yeah. Could have done it the easy way. Yeah, there you go. But yes. Yeah, we'll put one in there in a bit. To make sure the ranch is... Oh no, it doesn't need to be, does it? 'Cause I've got this. Yes. It'll be fine. How are we doing? We're doing pretty well. We need to do more digging, essentially. There's definitely something on the agenda. Let's inspect this. Can I inspect this? No. I can only activate it. Seems mean. Oh, hang on. Right, cool slash. So there's some water. Not a lot, but it is cold, which actually kind of helps. We do kind of have to... Well, we could go round, I guess, to get in it. But, we'll work something out. there. Not entirely sure what we're going to work out there, but I'll figure something out about how we get to it. In some way or another. Or I won't, but, you know. I can be relaxed about whether we sort that out or not. So, we don't have enough food. And I would like to keep on top of food because this is going to be an ongoing problem. I've got a space here that I'm not putting anything in as yet. So it could be food, frankly. Could also be another ranch. Let's consider making it a ranch as well. There. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Right. And then we can put a whole bunch of food in here again. Again, I could use... What's it? Why is that 20? And if that's 20, why isn't this 20? Why is that 18? How have I horribly miscounted? I've only miscounted by 1. What have I done? Done something weird. I don't know what the weird thing I've done is. How big is this room? I can't see, can I? Oh, you're 1 short. That's what the problem is. You are 1 short in here. So let's be sure to dig this out. We can put these there here. Actually, we'll probably put a door there. Six. Yeah, I mean, I could do, What's up, Neo? It's lovely to see you. I hope that you are having a... Welcome back. Can't even spell a 2-letter word. I mean... I think that's completely reasonable. I hope you are having a good one, and that you are well. It's lovely to see you. It's right, I can't even, like... I can't even make a ranch room, despite the innumerable times that I've done this in the past. Frankly, oh, it's like that, is it? We're doing this one, and we refuse to copy the settings. Oh, whatever. You do your thing. Doing okay. Hope the trip was nice. The trip was lovely. Thank you. I had a very good time. Lovely. Good. Yeah. Zombified by the time zones a little bit. It's mostly just the exhaustion, I think. We've done really well both ways at sort of remaining awake. In order to sort of reset to the time that we were at, that we've come to, both on the way there and on the way back. We've done an excellent job in that. But I'm just shattered, to be honest. It's just a really long trip. And 1 night's sleep isn't quite enough to get you back to it. We'll get there. So, there's water there. What else do we know about? Do we know about anything else that is interesting? Not that I can see as yet. We can dig a lot back here. So I think we might look to do that. One thing we'll look to do is definitely dig across there so we can fill in the back of this ranch for when we need it. But we might also look to just dig this out. Because it looks like we can get a really long way down here to help extend our knowledge of the world. Which seems pretty reasonable. Anyone would think it's the Enlightenment. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slime lung. I don't really want to deal with slime lung yet. So I think I'll try not to disturb those for now. I'll disturb them again later. We'll only dig down to there, I think. It's fine. Australia is kind of on the opposite side of the planet for you. It's a lot of flying. It was. So our flight was essentially, both ways we did essentially the same flight, where it was fly to Singapore and then on to destination. The flight from here to Singapore is like 12 hours, and the flight from Singapore to Australia is like 8 into Sydney. So on the way there we had an extra hour's flight because we flew from Sydney to Melbourne as soon as we got in. So yes, I arrived in Australia, I think I worked it out, it was like 30.5 hours since I left my house in London. Which I thought was quite a lot, frankly. That was how I felt about it. I felt that was quite a lot. And then on the way back it was a little bit better because we didn't have the extra flight because we actually were in Sydney and left from Sydney. But you also have to get off the plane in Singapore and get back on the plane, which is a bit of a pain. So that adds a couple of hours as well. So yeah, it's a pretty long way. Not the world's most straightforward flight, and I do not like to fly. It just kind of wreaks havoc on my body, really. It's not that I am particularly frightened by it or anything like that. I just don't enjoy it. It's just really horrible. So I enjoy the travelling. I don't enjoy the getting there. So yeah, it's just really tiring. It kind of sucks. Need to go back to Singapore. I'd recently discovered, literally on this trip actually, that I now can go to Singapore. So I have a rule that anywhere where homosexuality is still illegal in any form, I will not travel, will not give them my money. I will, if necessary, transfer through the airports. But Singapore has been off the list for a very long time until last year, when it finally decriminalised homosexuality. So I can actually go again. And I would certainly consider doing the stopover again. I did it once years and years ago before I was quite so aggressively political with my travelling choices. You're in the way of my ladder. Are you? Oh, I mean, you are a bit, but we might be able to sneak the ladder past you. I'm a bit too tall to sit in the seats too. Feet too long and I feel cramped. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm quite little, so I do fit in the seats. But even so, you can feel quite cramped. I don't really know how anybody taller than about 5'8" manages it, quite frankly. At least I flew with Qantas and their seats were all right in the great scheme of things. Certainly not the best that I've ever been in, but like certainly not the worst. The worst flights I ever had were with United, I think, the American airline. That was a horrendous flight. No worries at all. You're a teeny tiny person? Those economy seats are still too small for me. I'm over 6 feet, so yes, I can confirm it sucks. I mean, yeah. Yeah, on the United flight I took, this was quite some years ago, when I was even not shorter, but in other ways smaller than I am now. And I remember getting on the plane, and, you know, my knees were practically touching the seat in front of me. And noticeably, not only am I short, but I have particularly short legs. So how anybody can possibly ever fly United anywhere, I have no idea. I do know that the quite a lot of the American airlines, and particularly United, have a terrible reputation for that, but I can confirm it was terrible. It does indeed suck. Unless they've changed in the years since I last flew with them. But to be fair, that flight was such a terrible experience that I'd rather never fly with them again. I did have a very nice flight with Delta once, but I have to say I was in premium economy, so that was kind of cheating. One time I sat next to an NBA player who was stuck in coach because of flight cancellations and All-Star weekend. That man did not fit anywhere. He was half in my seat, but I was like, yeah, that's okay, the world is a dollhouse for you. On one of our internal flights, actually, I think it was the flight from... Was it the flight from Cairns to Sydney? I don't know. One of the internal flights that we did in America, we were... there were a whole bunch of, not NBA, but basketball players on our flight, but they had very sensibly booked the emergency exit rows for as many of them as they could fit there. How many yucky plants do I need per pawn? Which yucky plant? Do you mean the bog buckets? I could work it out for you. Let's have a little look. Oh yeah, I don't think you can use Oni Assistant for that, can you? Because the, oh no, they do have them now. Yeah, you should be able to use Oni Assistant's food calculator to tell you. Let me copy the link for you. This is how I mostly find stuff out. So, hang on, give me a second. Let me check. What is my... When I was a kid, I used to ask my parents for the duration of the flight and then pack enough activities with precise timings for how long I can do each one before I getting bored. Anyway, they should have known I was on the spectrum sooner. Why is this so relatable? Partner, when they were young, had a backpack that was always filled with sufficient activities to keep them occupied for as long as was in any way possible, because they were diagnosed ADHD very young, which, you know, in some ways is excellent, because obviously they were able to get some assistance quite early on, and at least understood what was going on with them quite early on, which, you know, for a lot of people who are either ADHD or on the spectrum can be complicated. But to be fair, we still make quite extensive considerations of how to keep them occupied when flying, or indeed doing pretty much anything. Frankly. What do I want to learn next? What do you want to learn, dupes? Let's learn about transformers. Transformers are always useful. Yeah, let's do brute force refinement. You're welcome, absolutely, Psyhydre. The ADHD meant I had a full backpack, and the ASD meant it was planned to the minute. Oh. I mean, yes, yeah, that is relatable content for sure. Okay, we do a bit of that. Handily, I don't have those problems so much, but I just really hate to fly. So, yeah, that's a different one. Also, partner has done so much flying that they're pretty adept at it, to be fair. That we both really hated the flight home and felt that it was really long. I mean, obviously it was quite long, it was 12 hours, but nonetheless, it really dragged. It was one of those where, you know, even when you went to sleep, you woke up and it was only like 5 minutes later all the time. Yeah, and the one back was a bit of a drag, which there was no real reason for it. Like, it was an alright flight in general. You know, we didn't have terrible neighbours ever. What other things might have happened? You know, we didn't have terrible flights, like the turbulence was alright, stuff like that. It's just one of those things. It's like that when you were tired and just want to go home and get some rest. That may well have been it. But certainly, yeah, it was just a bit draggy, really. Possibly the time zones didn't work out so well or something, so we just weren't on such good form. But, yeah, we didn't love it. Once handheld gaming systems were available and batteries lasted long enough, it wasn't nearly as much of a problem. But 9-year-old me had to plan. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I think I've talked before about how I get motion sick pretty much on all forms of transport. So planes are actually pretty much the best one in terms of whether I get motion sick. I don't think I've ever really got no, that's not true. I once got genuinely motion sick on a plane, and that was because as we approached our destination, we couldn't get, you know, when they can't get space on the runway and they make them do the holding pattern where they circle round and round. This is not great for someone who has motion sickness. So that's the only time it's been genuinely really bad on a plane. But even so, I still need to be slightly careful about what I focus on. So I can watch the movies and stuff like that without too much difficulty, but too much looking down can actually be still not super. Like, it's not too bad, but it's not super. So I have to be a little bit cautious. I did take my Steam Deck, though. I didn't really play it very much on the international flights, mostly because I was trying to sleep all the time. But I did play it on the internal flights, because they were shorter and like it was a good way to pass a couple of hours as you were doing the flight. Thank you, Rect, and welcome into you. It's good to see you. Have you experienced hard turbulence? I got sick once as a kid from that. Okay, I'm not as bothered by motion sickness anymore. Never terrible. I've had some reasonable turbulence, but not extreme. I think the worst flight I ever had wasn't really due to anything to do with the flight. Though we did have some quite exciting turbulence on that. But I actually had actually went on a flight when I had a tooth infection. And that was some of the worst pain that I've ever been in my life. But like, I was literally in tears trying to, you know, deal with this flight. With the pain in my mouth, and like obviously there was turbulence as well, and you know the air hosts came over and were like, "Oh, you know, it'll be okay. It's just some turbulence." And I'm like, I don't give a flying monkeys about the turbulence. I am actually just in incredible pain. Thanks. Can you fetch me some ice? Which, to be fair, they did. But yeah, that fortunately it wasn't a terribly long flight, but God, that was not fun. It wasn't actually an amazing holiday as well. It's never a good holiday when you spend some of it at a dentist, frankly. Oh look, it's the edge of the world already. Steam Decks are great, especially if there are outlets. The part that is stressful for me is the security, though. That's better with pre-check and like bad signage, or when people don't follow simple procedures, or if the plane is loud. Yeah. Parna also struggles very much with security, especially being a really frequent traveller. I mean, as anyone who watches the stream a lot will know, they have previously spent a lot of time for travelling for business, and that's not only in the past year or two. They've done that before for fairly big parts of their lives. So the fact that people don't really understand how to navigate security for them is like kind of not really understandable. And they get really frustrated. So there's a bit of management required there, just to make that okay. Oh, look, we can do the thing. No, this is pliers. Want to try the new one. That's where are you? Oh, of course, because I've got duplicate settings, so yeah, no, never mind. I think my general answer is that I don't really care about the... I only ever really want to sever one bit of wire or pipe at a time, I think. So I don't think I mind that it doesn't do multiples. But we'll see. It might well come up. I can't do Southwest anymore because it's just so chaotic for a situation that already stresses me out. Fair. Certainly airports and carriers can be variable when it comes to how difficult their procedures can be. But it's usually not too bad here. Like, even the big airports, like our big airports know that they're big airports and are sort of set up accordingly, if that makes sense. But it's certainly not the case everywhere. I always have, what am I looking for? Hatches. I always have the worst trouble that I've experienced in holiday airports. So I don't know what the experience is like across the world, but certainly in Europe there are a number of destinations where the airport largely only exists to serve holidaymakers, like I'm thinking of places like the Greek islands and some of the other small airports, particularly after the rise of budget aircraft carriers like EasyJet or Ryanair. There are many airports about the place that are really just designed for, that sort for tourism, and often budget tourism. And apparently that doesn't lead to you bothering to put anything in your airport. So they can certainly be challenging just because there's nothing there. I once went on holiday to one of the Greek islands, and the queue for the security and such like for their airport was outside the airport, which isn't super in a place where the temperature is regularly like 35 degrees. It was a bit warmy, even for my standards, which, as discussed, enjoy warmy. Should be time for another dupe, shouldn't it? Yes, dupe any minute. Let's see what we get. Oh, man. Why in God's name would you choose that as the direction you want to go in? Just stop going in there. duplicate pathing I see is completely rubbish still. Okay, they seem pretty convinced that we should take another operator. So I guess we'll take another operator. I mean, the rocketry isn't... I mean, the rocketry's fine. I guess. But the operating suit wearing's pretty decent. I don't need an operator, a pilot, or a researcher at this point. So we'll take another Quinn, since we renamed Other Quinn. I think Other Quinn is in fact Moose. Sweet. Brain on glass, my favourite. Let's take another Quinn. Quinn is into skill point. Quinn, I think I'm just going to give you the tinkering hat. Maybe we will let Turner be a digger then, rather than an operator. We'll hold on to it for a minute. I mean, they don't have their second point yet, so we don't have to worry. But Turner might become a digger after all. Neural vacillator. We do have a vacillator. There's one hiding up here. That we will be able to get to relatively shortly. We can't dig into this yet, but soon. Soon, TM. Right. Priorities. Quinn. You are definitely being one of these. I think, where are you, Turner? I'm gonna set you up as a sort of bit more. A bit more of a digger. Let me set you up as a digger for now. I'm still unconvinced of which way we're going to go with Turner. We will see. Quinn, you need a new schedule. Here's one. Excellent. Off we go. It gives one Dupe a random skill. It does. It gives well, it gives one of 4 specific buffs, the Neural Vacillator. So, you can get, what is it? Sunny Disposition, which is, reduced stress. Beefcake, which is plus 5 strength, plus 10 strength, maybe? It's quite a decent buff. Deeper Diver's Lung. I don't think it's called that. You can get one that means they consume less oxygen anyway. And what's the other one? Oh, Regenerative, where they don't get sick. But that one's rubbish, obviously. Nobody cares about that. Because nobody cares about sickness since they nerfed them all. Right. We still have food. When we have filled these up, there's no real point building anymore anyway, because we don't have the seeds as yet. We could get them to dig that bit out. There's at least one more seed in there. Oh, I was having a thought and I've forgotten. Oh, I know what it was. So 19. So it's nearly 4 dupes, and this is nearly 4 dupes. We have 6. So theoretically it will feed enough dupes for now. If we can get it all planted up. But we'll have to wait and see about that. Right, dupes, have you got plenty to be getting on with? You've got a fair amount to be getting on with. Why haven't you got any oxygen in there? We are beginning to have a little bit of a carbon dioxide issue, We can start expanding these to let out more oxygen shortly. But for the meantime, you're going to have to excuse me 1 second, chat. I will be right back. I'll leave you with the duplicants. They shouldn't kill themselves just yet. If they do, well, these things happen. I'll be right back. Yeah, they shouldn't really be in enough danger to deal themselves too much damage at the moment. Soon. No doubt. Let's learn about carbon skimming, eh? Because I'm looking at this and thinking that we are shortly going to have a bit of a problem with that. We have learned about pumps, so that's sort of handy. We could think about actually building proper toilets for them. Where's carbon skimming gone? There. That's where carbon skimming's gone. That will also get us the deodorizers, which will give us a bit more of an opportunity to break into some of this stuff, which we may also wish to achieve. I think we're going to continue just digging stuff out, to be honest. I think that is the order of the day here. You need to be a door. I mean, we could leave that. Oh, I suppose we can. So we might as well leave that for now. And just generally get on with a bit of digging. And see how the dupes do at not murdering themselves too horrendously just yet. I suspect the answer to that is going to be badly. They're not usually adept at not murdering themselves. We've got quite a lot of water knocking about. Maybe we do want to try and set up the fish tank nice and early. Might have some moderate problems with letting this polluted oxygen out, but oh look, this is the edge of the map as well. I hate these maps. They're so tiny. Look how tiny they are. Look, I've already found both edges. Ugh. This is why I never play them. Well, that's not true, I play them plenty. Idle? Oh, Turner. Turner. How? How did you manage to do that? But of course you did. Why would you not have done that? Right, let's rummage and inspect these. Not that the dupes will be able to rummage in them for some time. We probably want to think about how we get up to this. And I'd say we want to come up this side, but then this is full of water as well, which isn't going to be ideal. I mean, we could come up through the middle, but definitely feel like flooding is going to happen. Maybe I just need to build a big mixed water tank somewhere that we can dump all the random water into. Maybe. We'll consider that as an option. Catalina has some extra athletics. Good. Never upset at the duplicants moving around a bit quicker. We nearly filled up the food, which will be handy. Are you gonna dig under these? We might do. I'll think about it. Can think about it when we get there. I don't think wild food's really gonna achieve anything to us. I think to deal with the number of dupes, we're just gonna have to go for industrialization really as the solution. Frankly. Dull as that may be. I got the less O2, less CO2 buff on my spaceship pilot. That is, I would say, the best one, Hydra. Definitely think that one's the best one, so it's pretty good going. The only time it... like, the beef stick's pretty decent, and if you're playing with all the difficulty settings turned up, actually the stress reduction one can be alright. But in general, I would definitely say that that one is the best. You were hoping for either this or stress reduction. To be fair, on a pilot, stress reduction is pretty good as well. It certainly allows you to maybe not bother scrubbing them as often to help with the morale issues. But other than that, I would say mostly the stress one is good for high difficulty playthroughs. Where your dupes aren't going to be struggling with stress. And radiation. That's the other thing that I find the high difficulty is a bit difficult. Is a bit awkward for. The rest of the things aren't so bad, like the food and the... what's the other one? Aren't there 4 ones? There's food. There's a morale one as well, I think, but I don't think the morale one is all that. But definitely the stress and the radiation are the things that I find more tricky if I turn up the difficulty settings. But I don't mostly do it because I like to have fun. Essentially. Possibly I'm lazy. That might be the answer. Something like that. Careful. Do not want to dig into this water just yet, because I haven't decided what we're going to do with it. We would like to ranch these sweetles. The good thing is that we can feed them for a bit, and then we can starvation ranch them. Because they are all cramped, though. Might need to get in there. Or they're going to kill themselves. But I can't dig through the abyss light yet, so we can't do it. You want to keep your stress level down too? I find that on normal difficulties I don't have any problem with stress. In space, yes. On a pilot I can have difficulties with stress on normal difficulty. I would say otherwise I'm very unlikely to. My personal stress level, yes, absolutely. I certainly am not interested in having stressful gaming experiences on the whole. Also, I have enough stress trying to keep the stream actually functional and things like that. Last thing I need to add to that is the game being stressful. I mean, possibly I could just make Streamlabs work. That would make things less stressful, but apparently making Streamlabs work is just not a thing that, you know, one can expect out of life. Hello, Dotterly. I am doing well, thank you very much. It's good to see you. I hope you're having a good one. Things have been good in my absence. You didn't miss me too much. Don't know why you would, but you know, in general. Let's make sure we dig stuff up that might have stuff in it. There's definitely going to come a time when we're going to need the stuff. Do I know how to build a fridge yet? No, I still don't know how to build a fridge. I also don't have a cook. Could definitely do with a cook. I never managed to get cooks early enough. That's some sort of special problem of mine. I assume I don't prioritize them significantly when I should. But to be fair, the only cook I've seen had bottomless stomach, which I don't love. Especially not on a large Dupe playthrough. And by large I obviously mean that multiple dupes, not that the dupes themselves are giants. That would be interesting though. Sized duplicants. You can have duplicants that you had to, like, you know, build on the gravitas scale for. I'm not sure that would really work, but it could be interesting. We could suggest it to someone. How you getting on, Dupes? You doing alright? Is there anything underneath here? So I find it aggravating that if sand drops on a plant, you have to dig the sand out, but then it also wants to dig up the plant. You can have 2 dupes with bottomless stomachs, or you could have 3 without. It seems like an easy pick. Indeed. I definitely don't. There's plenty of playthroughs where I would consider bottomless stomach not to be the end of the world. But this is not one of them. normally, like, in the early game you might struggle a bit with food, but once you get over that it's going to be fine. Especially once you can build a freezer or anything like that. I have to make the decision about Turner now. Turner. Moose, how far are you from super hard digging? Not that far. Nah, I think we're going to make Turner a digger. Turner, you're going to be a digger. You can dig through abyssalite. Let's go and dig through stuff. Like this. You can go and see some grubs. No, not grubs. Grub fruits. That's the thing. Not there. Thank you. Right, that also means that we can get into these bits from whichever angle we prefer. So we might want to consider how we do that. Oh, that makes it easier because then I can do that. Lovely. How are you lot doing here? You're doing pretty well. How's the research going? We're still learning about carbon skimming. After we've learned about carbon skimming, I would like to learn about water sieves. And then we might start to think about putting in proper toilets. Because that will give us all the base infrastructure to put in proper toilets. We still don't really see any additional vents apart from this one. Which, doesn't feel ideal. Not that way. But if we came in across the top, no. Neither of these are good access points. I mean, they could be. I just have to accept that I'm going to dig through some floor that we might want to keep. We probably don't want to keep through any door, any floor, though. We probably don't care. The answer is, we probably don't care and we want to come in this way. Because this will allow us to get to that. I don't know why I have this obsession about protecting the floors all the time. It's not entirely necessary. But I can't really get over it, apparently. It's just one of those things that I'm always going to want to do. Especially considering I have buildable natural tiles installed. So I can just rebuild them anyway. Kiwied, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. It is good to have you here. I hope you're having a lovely day. How are you lot doing, dupes? How is our carbon dioxide situation going? It's sort of alright. There's you lot in here. This is a vacuum, so that's not going to help anything. Not sure why I wasn't following. Sorry. That is no worries at all, Kiwied. I have watched many channels and realised that I wasn't following them. There's also ones where because I also stream and therefore some, like, you know, sometimes you're following channels, you're watching channels, especially of other Oni streamers that I've perhaps watched plenty of times or I've raided, and then I realise that I'm not actually following them. And then I feel I can't follow them, because if it has the pop-up, it'll seem really weird that I wasn't following them already. So I don't press it. And then I keep forgetting and it becomes a vicious cycle where I never remember to follow people. Because I always think, well, I'll just do it when they're offline. And then, of course, they're offline and you don't think about it, so... Indeed, follow off stream is indeed the solution, but that would involve me remembering to do something, which, as anyone who's watched the stream will know, it's not necessarily my strong suit. Remembering to do a thing, not necessarily something that can be guaranteed here in any way. That's when you say, not sure why I wasn't already following. This is obviously the trick, indeed, Kiweed. You've discovered the cheat code for this. Right, we have carbon skimming. So, what we would like to do somewhere down here now is put in carbon skimming and power. I think we might do it this side, actually. Let's have a think about that. Power transformer. Why can't I put it there? Can I not build over the mealwood? Well, nuts to that, I say. Let's dig up this mealwood. I mean, yes, it is an invalid construction location. Here. Look, I'll make a floor. Did you take all traits this time? No. So this time, the duplicate settings manager was only really used to ensure that I had like a digger and a researcher, and then we took an operator at the beginning. But they don't necessarily have 3 traits each. This time we're going to take a duplicate every time the pod goes off. I have a current record of 66 duplicates on these spaced out sized maps, rather than the classic sized. And we're going to see if we can beat 66. I would say that I am not currently hopeful. You never know, but not currently hopeful is my current position. So close to 69. It was. I forget how we died that time. We've definitely died to random suffocation a few times. I think we died to starvation one time as well. But certainly random suffocation has been a bit of a thorn. Let's put you up there for the short term. Oh, did I take all the story traits? I did. I did take them all. I wasn't really sure I wanted to, but I've done it anyway now, I believe. I did complain a bit about how much room they take up on these small maps. But I have a feeling if you take them all on the small maps, they don't all show up on one planet or one asteroid. It's kind of my belief. Oh, I know what I need to research. The other thing I want to research is automation wire. Because I'm going to want to use a smart battery to control my coal generators. We should probably build some mushrooms. We'd have to feed them the slime. But it might not be terrible. Power. Let's have a coal generator. A space for a smart battery. The other thing we would like here is... Oh, actually, we don't want you there. I've already left that space. You can go here and here, because I've already left a space just here at the front to put a storage bin in which we can put cold. Coal. Words are hard. Words are hard. See, look, you're dying out, aren't you? There were 4 of you in there earlier. Oh no, there are still 4 of you, just all hiding up there. I have to work on getting in there. Actually, if we come in underneath this, that's all sand, so they'll fall down. And then these ones at least won't be cramped. But yeah, we're not, I'm not really planning to pay much attention to the story traits on this playthrough. They are merely, there. Oh, you overjoyed, Lyra. We should watch out for a, balloon person. Because... Oh, I have extra balloons. Let me show you my supply closet. Is it wardrobe? No, it isn't. Duplicants. Huh. Can I change the duplicants? I can just make them restyled immediately? Oh, interesting. All. That's what I was looking for. I have puffed balloons. And also purple balloons. Oh. They apparently go. Interesting. But yes. Oh, look, you could have had pip balloons. Isn't that adorable? I suppose the puff balloons are at least on theme, because I have the puffed bed as well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm disappointed that I don't have a different animal balloon. I'm still waiting to find out how we get more shipments. I'm sure Clay will tell us in due course, but I would still like to know how we get them. I'm hoping for some sort of in-game get more traits thing like you would have, get more shipments thing like you have in Don't Starve Together, so that you don't have to pay for them or anything, because that would be aggravating. And I would be moderately aggravated. Can we get in here? Yes. I think we can. Yeah, look, we could get in there. I really want to do this so they can jump up. I might need to not dig that bit out yet. And they should be able to climb up here and get in. Twitch drops too? Yes, Twitch drops would be excellent. My, rumours suggest that Twitch drops are definitely going to be a thing. It just wants to give me operators all the time. I'm not taking an anemic though. Rowan, you're out. Building, ranching, decorating? Guess we could have a ranching decorator. Well, I mean, we are. Bottomless stomach, anemic. It's got to be Nicola. Come and be a new rancher, I guess? Well, we'll need you in the end. It's probably fine. You are a plant murderer, though, which is not really ideal. But, such is life, I'm afraid. Come in, Nicola. Welcome in. You are going to be set up for farming and ranching, even though you're going to murder some plants. Good. Catalina is doing that. Let's give you a farming hat. What's that actually going to make your agriculture? -1. Well, that's great. Yeah, I think it's probably pretty nailed on that we're gonna get Twitch drops. See, look, even KJ has operating. I do find that sometimes the game seems particularly set on you having a specific type of dupe and keeps offering them to you. And of course it's nearly always one that isn't the one that you wanted. Because why would it ever be the one that you actually wanted? What nonsense. Yeah, Twitch drops I think are pretty much nailed on, I would say. I mean, it's still a bit of a guess, but it feels like that is a bit of a no-brainer. But yeah, otherwise how it's gonna happen, I don't know. But yeah, my idea... Ideally, we would see it work largely like it does in Don't Starve. Or Don't Starve Together, anyway. Obviously they don't work in Don't Starve, but... Excellent, look. Already making the copper for the battery. Which should mean that because we know what this is, look, we've even got enough. Amazing. Excellent. Have we learned about the water sieve yet? No, not yet. Right. Carry on then. Have we... Did we ever get around to learning about fridges? No. No. Why would he ever want to store our food anywhere? Who cares about that, eh? Oh, let me turn the priority up on that a little bit. You're off-gassing a bunch of polluted oxygen there, which I would probably rather wasn't happening. Let's, for now... Oh, I don't know about automatic drop-offs, so I can't build one. Fine. In the short term then, let's build a bin there. Hello, Cardoza. Welcome in. I hope that things are going well for you. You're having a lovely day. It's good to see you. How are we getting on here? Slowly but surely. 7. We're about to need to expand both the dining and living quarters. Could really do with being able to catch all these hatches before they eat all my stuff. You broke your back, Cardoza. That's terrible. I'm very sorry to hear that. Now, I'm very sorry that you've struggled to receive proper care. I hope that you are on the mend. Even if belatedly. Now you're high on painkillers, so life is pretty chill. I mean, that can certainly help. And I imagine if you were in that sort of pain, then the sort of painkillers that make you a bit high is probably the way forward. What did I want to put in here? Polluted dirt. Organic. Polluted dirt. Let's set that nice and high. We'll have to change it when if they pick that up though, let me turn that off again. Because if they pick that up, it's gonna have food poisoning germs all over it. If they start picking that stuff up and bringing it around the place, all that's gonna happen is that they're gonna get food poisoning germs all over the place. Which is not what we want to see. I don't want to blame doctors too much. I should have advocated for myself more. I'm not good at that. I think pain is one of those things that is still difficult to get the right balance on. You know, I have some friends who suffer from like chronic pain conditions, and the difficulty of like sort of explaining the level of pain you're in seems to be pretty significant, I would say, for many people. But I'm glad you were being properly treated now, which is, I suppose, the main thing, or at least, you know, a plus. Alright, we don't yet know about wires, so I can't yet build the automation wire. And I don't want to plug the coal generators in until we have built the automation wire, because then we'll just be wasting coal. I mean, I assume we actually have some coal, do we? Ooh. There's always a way to blame boomers for our problems. Absolutely. As there should be. Let's deconstruct this for a minute. We're going to put a bin in so we can... I see a hatchling egg that is free. Oh, I know what's going on. Somebody doesn't have a schedule, do they? Nicola? Oh no, that's not going on. But we should make it so that that goes on. Nicola, have a schedule. There you go. You might get some sleep, you never know. I've been in pain for more than 3/4 of my life. I don't recall what painless feels like anymore. Yes, I have a friend who experiences that as well. Kiwid, that sucks. And I hope that you are at least able to mostly be believed and, you know, sort of accepted that that is a true reflection of your life, and not, as the boomers would have it, some nonsense that you're making up in your head. You do learn to live with it. Yes. Yes. You reckon India has the best painkillers ever? I don't know anyone who could confirm or deny, so I will absolutely take your word for it. Damn those boomers, always there to tell you how to live your life. I mean, potentially. what I would say is that the modern use of the term boomer and like when the boomers were actually born doesn't really overlap at all, and we will shortly, indeed we already are, but we will certainly shortly be getting to the point where the number of boomers starts to decrease pretty rapidly, considering the elder boomers are already significantly into their 70s, if not approaching 80. But yeah, people have some weird ideas of when boomers were, but it's the same way that, like, the people who are just below boomers all like to believe that they fought in the Second World War, which, they didn't. It's a bit weird. To be fair, as their age, Gen X is getting almost as bad as boomers, statistically I mean. Of course, good and bad people span all demographics. Zoomers, is that what they're calling the break between boomers and Gen X? I've lost track, to be honest. I've got too old. Obviously. Zoomers are young Gen Z. Oh, Lord. Are we really so far forward that we need new words for the young people? Boomers, then Gen X, then Millennials, and now Gen Z. I don't know who names them. Let me get the list. You're turning into a boomer yourself any time now. Not too soon, but certainly there are arguments that I could be Gen X. I think I'm most commonly placed in the Xennial bit of it, where I'm certainly slightly too old to be a true millennial, but slightly too young to be a true Gen X. I saw a really good thing about I think we're still learning stuff, are we? Oh no, we've learnt all the stuff. I saw a really good sort of explanation of what it is to be a Xennial. Is that it is the intersection where you were brought up. Your childhood consisted of a purely analog world, but your sort of teens consisted of the move to digital. So you weren't brought up digital in the way that the true millennials were, but you were young enough that becoming digital was a fairly straightforward part of your existence. Let's start learning some of this stuff. We do, after all, have a bunch of oh, do you know what I keep saying I need? Fridges. Let's learn about fridges. Max is a cusper. I am, yes, absolutely. Some Zoomers are in their early 20s now, so yeah, we need some more. God. No, Cardozo, the Xennials are the ones born between, essentially the Star Wars generation, born between 77 and 83, pretty much. I think it's possibly only me who thinks of them as the Star Wars generation, but those are the dates of the first and last of the original trilogy, so, always makes me think of them as the Star Wars generation. Right, collect up them hatchling eggs and put them in this bin. Duplicants. Hang on, there's loads of stuff here that I'm missing. I think the older I get, the more boomer I get. I'm almost ready for a rocking chair and a shotgun and a sign with "Get off the grasp." I love watching videos on Gen Zs on TikTok as they come of age, and they're all, what the fuck is wrong with you old people? Why would you make capitalism happen? I am 43 as of yesterday. Yes, now 43. So, an actual middle-aged person, which is sort of weird. In England, boomers were from 40 till 60, but in USA, boomer is from 45 to 65. I thought it had to be 45 to 65, right? Because the whole point is that they were the post-war baby boom. My parents are boomers, but to be fair, the very beginning of them. Why are we starving? We've got loads of food. Moose, what are you doing? Why are you starving? Oh, is it because the food's too far away and you're struggling to pick it up? Xennials, and for those who can't hear the word, the mesh of Gen X and Millennial. Absolutely deep fried. Gen X is from 60 to 80? Nah. Gen X is... Oh, right, I see what you mean. There's an interesting Wikipedia article on the Xennials. Fridges are these tiny houses you have inside your own house. And the tiny house is to keep the stuff inside it cold without having the inside of the rest of your house go cold as well. Because your house is mainly there to keep you warm when the outside is not so warm. You are surprised that you're younger than me. Why would you say that now? I won't be able to think of anything else for the rest of the night. The boom in England started when all the soldiers going off to war had babies before they left. That would be 1940. My mum was born in 43 and she's very much a boomer. Oh, interesting. See, my parents had quite a different experience because my maternal grandfather was a reservist. So he and my grandmother were married on, I think, the day before war was declared, and he shipped off the day after, so in 1939, and essentially she didn't see him again for about 6 years. No, I think you can just have improved carry, to be honest. And my paternal grandmother's first husband was killed. And so my paternal grandfather was actually slightly too young to fight. No, he wasn't too young to fight. He was a protected industry, is the answer. He was an engineer, so he wasn't called up because he was required at home to do engineer stuff, which is why he was home to meet my grandmother. You wouldn't have put me over 40? Unfortunately, I've been over 40 for some time now. The camera's not that great. No, the camera isn't that great. I have to say. It's also quite small. Since, you know, I would like you to be able to see the game. But no, the camera's not super. It wasn't very expensive, though. But I did buy one. Like, I bought it because it comes with a built-in ring light. But the ring light is actually horrible and I never use it, so all in all the purchase didn't work out quite as I had hoped. I thought you were 14 or something at first. I mean, yes. That has been a significant amount of time, I have to say. 14 is, to be honest, thankfully long ago. I've definitely got old enough where I now appreciate no longer being a teen. Being a teen is rubbish, frankly. It's just endlessly hard work. I did scale you up to like 18 to 24 after the initial impression. You see, the thing about the camera is you can't see how